Ancestral Ruins is back and better than ever. Okay, scratch that last part as the rewards are really not better.
Bruh.
However, the main highlights of this event include the addition of many more floors as well as the leaderboard, which provides a bit more rewards related to the Ancestral Ruins. But let's talk about the elephant in the room. How did the guy who died from Callus in 2024 ended up getting first place, beating everyone else by more than one floor? Well, this video will dive into exactly that. I will showcase several tricks you can apply to every floor and every boss fight, as well as my choice for builds to descend deeper past floor 40. With that intro aside, let's begin. In this current version, it is neither possible nor intended to get all the way to floor 100. In fact, in this 80-day long event, you only need a few hours to reach your deepest possible floor. As of recording this video, the record floors for each class are 60 for Spellweaver, 50 for Steam Mechanicus, 49 for Ranger, and 42 for Dragon Knight. I'm confident that the Spellweaver and Dragon Knight floors won't be beaten, but there is still room for improvement for Ranger and Steam Mechanicus. But in order to get any other Ranger to try floor 50, let's explore what builds will net the fastest clear times going deep into the ruins. The first build that comes to my mind for dishing damage out quick and consistently has to be the Dragon build paired with Elemental Essences. After all, this was the strongest build for dealing damage to Mortis without relying on the set that gives you 500% damage and minus 250% health. Here's a side-by-side comparison of upgraded Dragon with Red Essences, upgraded BGH with Red Essences, and upgraded Dragon with Fire Red Essences. Because of Deadly Blow's fast attack speed and insanely high base damage, it is capable of destroying the floor 25 boss just that much faster than the alternative builds, despite having lower base damage than the BGH build due to the nature of the sets. However, there is one problem with this build. Not every boss is built the same. Here's a quick test on every boss versus Elemental Essences. There is no certain logic as to why some bosses are immune to Elemental Essences and some aren't, but that simply means that depending on the floor, Dragon Ranger can either be the best available build or the weakest one due to how risky staying in close range can be. Keep in mind that the bosses cycle every 10 floors, so if the boss on floor 4 is immune to Elemental Essences, so will be the boss on floor 14, 24, and so on. What do we do when Elemental Essences are not allowed? For this, I turned back to my video where I compared BGH to Poison in Blazing Inferno. The general idea is that BGH will always lose to Poison in a long combat, and considering most of the 8 minutes given by the timer are spent on the boss, this is well within range to be considered a long fight and to make Poison build the one to always deal more damage than BGH. Of course, this comes with a catch. In order to secure the most damage, you have to survive the entire fight and never lose your 20 stacks of Blade Dance while staying up close the entire time. This will affect different boss fights differently, and I will discuss how exactly in the floor clearing strategy coming right up. The main enemy in this event is the 8-minute clock. You want to spend as much time as possible on the boss, which means you want to spawn it as fast as possible. It is easy to lose a run by just a few seconds lost from any previous point in the run. As such, here are my paths for each floor and builds used. I will use this floor to explain how to play the builds going forward. For floor 41 and potentially 51, I start with the Poison build and skill tree. I immediately rush to the 3 mini-bosses at the right side. I skip dealing with the mobs and take either a second chance or a death to the spikes. Then, I activate the fire to disable a second set of spikes and head to the bosses. Here, I'm able to have the three of them close enough to where at least two can be hit at once. Shield mini-bosses are not a problem for a poison build. The only dangerous mini-bosses would be the ones who cast fire explosions. To prevent them from using skills as much as possible, I tech turn Trap since it has a quick cast time and stuns immediately for 5 seconds with less than 5 seconds cooldown, giving me a potential perma-stun. Once these are defeated, I mount up and rush to the two mini-bosses at the bottom left. It is possible to cause both sets of spikes in just one death with quick enough mounting. Here, it is possible to get those machine mini-bosses who barely move, which could cause some problems. If I get those, I will use 3 to pull one closer to the other and then stand between both so I can hit them together. As soon as those are defeated, I need to switch to Drakensang and the build that allows me for 100% break of any resistance right after dying on the spikes again, and then head to the top boss. Here, to deal the most damage, I need to cast Net, Blade Dance, Trap and Ticket in any order, as long as the net isn't last due to the delay it has from casting to landing. After that, I just need to spam the Deadly Blow for damage. I also have to use Traps when the mini-boss unstuns, Ticket when the previous one wears off, and Blade Dance before the stack timer reaches 1 second. This will eliminate the need for net and keep the mini-boss's chosen resistance type at 0 the entire time. Once the mini-boss is defeated, I can head to the boss. The lasers will make the fight more difficult than it needs to be. As such, the first thing I do is pull him to the square above the one he spawns. This is a long process as he stops to fire his ranged attack pretty often. After he is pulled to the top, I will be relying on the tree to tank its attacks, as the boss has both stun immunity and stun resistance. When it's time to replace the tree, I use the next Blade Dance to move further away from the boss, as he has a window of opportunity to attack and one-shot me instead. Otherwise, it is very important that I use Blade Dance on the spot for minimal time loss. With this strategy, floor 41 should be cleared easily. Floor 42 begins with the Ryan build. I head to the bottom mini-boss by crossing the spikes. After I defeat said mini-boss with the 4 breaking skills, the boss immediately spawns. Here, it's time to switch to poison build. The boss will be surrounded by a bunch of monsters, which will make the initial stacking a lot easier. The boss can be perma-stunned with Trap, but because his initial attack is so fast, it is still important that when I switch trees, I Blade Dance away from the boss to not risk defeat. Floor 43 can be cleared entirely with poison build. Here, I need to defeat the one sentinel at the right side from the start. The platform prior to the mini-boss is already filled with mobs, which I can stack my Blade Dance on. Then, I need to defeat the mini-boss deeper into the floor before the boss spawns. I can collect my 20 stacks again from mobs on previous sections of the floor and head into the mini-boss at maximum strength. During the boss fight, I will not have the opportunity to quickly gain 20 stacks, but that's not the biggest issue here. Rather, the bigger concern will have to be pulling the boss away from the trials, as well as minding that he has stun resistance and stun immunity. Similar to floor 41, constant tree replacement and using Blade Dance away after swapping the tree are key to surviving here. I cut this run very close, but that was mainly attributed to me not using damage buffs and using Blade Dance through the boss instead of on the spot, but even then, the damage is still there. 44 starts off with Dragon build. First, I head over to the mini boss at the top right. This means skipping both sets of spikes, which will certainly cause a death even with second chance up. After the mini boss falls, it's time to switch to poison as the boss is immune to elemental essences. After summoning the boss with the staff, it's time for a slightly more difficult battle. While this boss can be permanently stunned, his teleport attack deals just high enough damage to kill me in one hit. This attack happens very fast, and unless predicted, will be very hard to react to. Luckily, this exact same attack will help with pulling him away from the traps. If you're capable of surviving one hit, this fight will be easy for you. Floor 45 can be cleared from start to finish with just Dragon build. First, I cross the spikes to the mini-boss. After defeating the mini-boss with the 4 breaking skills, I am quickly able to summon the boss. With Dragon build, I don't even need to pull the boss away from the fire. It is completely possible to heal all the damage with 3 while perma-stunning the boss. The boss doesn't have a fast attack either, so this floor should be completely free in terms of survival. Floor 46 can be cleared with just Dragon build. To start, I activate the closest fire to allow myself to use jumps, and then I can skip everything until the final mini-boss, although this can take up to 2 deaths. Then, once Herald spawns, I pull him away from the lasers. He can be perma-stunned and his attacks end slowly, so this should be another free kill. Floor 47 can be cleared with just poison build. To start, I head over to the furthest flame and activate it to summon the mobs. Those can quickly allow me to get 20 stacks, which I use to defeat the mini-boss. After activating the staff and restacking the blade dance stacks, I can head to the boss. If I pull Nefertari away from the traps, I will be in range of the monsters, so instead I choose to pull her upwards and just eat the damage of the trials, as it isn't all that threatening. Nefertari has neither stun immunity nor stun resistance, and her attacks are rather slow, so she isn't a threat to me. However, poison build with red essences is generally weaker than Dragon build with elemental essences, so this will be very close in terms of time. If you need just a few more seconds, you can instead start with Dragon build for the first mini-boss, but this should be able to beat floor 47 if you have the stats. Floor 48 can be cleared entirely with Dragon build. Here, I head over to the last mini-boss and then wait at the next platform for the staff to appear. During the boss fight, I will constantly be taking burn damage and I will be fired at by those turrets, so occasional dodging may be required. Luckily, Arachna cannot kill my tree easily, but because she has such a fast attack, using Blade Dance away from her on 3 redeployment is necessary. 49 can be cleared entirely with Dragon build. However, this was the first floor where I was not able to pull the strategy off despite knowing what to do. Here, I have to activate the fire furthest from the start and defeat the 2 furthest mini-bosses. Summoning the wolf on the first mini-boss will save me a few seconds, which is just enough to give me room to breathe at the boss. Then, once I head to the second boss, the wolf will inevitably get defeated by the laser and there is nothing I can do about it. Once the second mini-boss falls, I can activate both the staffs to summon the boss. If you don't activate the top staff, the boss platform will have a silencing effect, so the right side mini-boss can't be skipped. Here, I need to be near perfect to fight the boss. At the start of the battle, I need to summon the tree to tank both seeking attacks for me. Not doing so will result in a few seconds lost due to running, or worse, dying at the start, which will lose me even more time. Then, I have to watch out the entire fight for the laser while perma-stunning Medusa. The problem isn't so much that the laser can kill me, but rather, it comes down to how much time I spent inside blade dance animations for the whole fight. I kid you not when I say that I lost on by this much for simply using blade dance too much on a good pace. It might be possible to have an easier time with a build that allows more reset, as this floor doesn't force you to lose the stacks at any point in the run, but good luck surviving hitless against the boss for 6 minutes. Eventually, on my 4th attempt, and after nearly 25,000 fire essences down the drain, I got my latest personal best of floor 49 with 8 seconds on the clock. Floor 50 might as well be impossible with red essences, but I will share my work in progress strategy regardless. The floor can be beaten entirely with poison build, although combining it with mortar set or 600% essences will be required. To start, I have to survive the first 3 platforms of enemies. Then, I can use jump to the stairs, then to the side of the bridge, and then past all the spikes. After this, I summon the tree to help me recover some health, intending to pull the enemies that I'm about to spawn. After I activate the fire, I need to activate the staff that will be surrounded by monsters. Here, I have to pray to RNGesus on what mobs will be spawned. If it spawns sludges or stone golems, there is no way to pull them away from the staff, which will make me have to fight them, which is guaranteed lost for this attempt. However, if I get small and fast enemies, I can easily pull and stun them, activate the staff, and run ahead. I want to collect my 20 stacks here, which most times isn't an issue. Once that's done, I quickly mount up and travel to the mini. This fight is extra difficult because now I have to dodge the fire totals, as even one hit will defeat me with mortar set on. It is possible to move the mini boss so that I'm out of range of the fire totems, but I haven't found a reliable way to do so yet. If this part of the run succeeds, the hardest is yet to be done. Once I activate the last staff, I try to pull the boss past the stairs and later all the way to the left side of the platform she spawns at. The reason I pull Paragon so far away is so that her initial spawns aren't capable of firing at me from above, which they are able to do if I just fight right below the stairs. The boss fight isn't easy, as Paragon has very quick attacks after unstunning. The only solution would be to time my trap and blade dance in a way so that when the boss unstuns, I am protected by the immunity frames provided by blade dance. I could leave the completion of floor 50 for another day, but then I saw this. Apparently during the production of this video I was overtaken. And even if the current winner had done it with the 600% essences, I wasn't going to let that slide. did it! After multiple failed attempts at various points in the run, I claimed the floor 50 win, even if by under a second. I believe this is the limit without using the blazing essences of vigor, and for those, I have to wait until the next big game hunt to restock with some more, so it may be a while until I post any further progress in terms of floors beaten. As usual, thank you for watching until the very end, and good luck on the Ancestral Ruins leaderboard.